So here we have a RWA play called realio network. The ticker is RIO. So looking at this chart, we can see that it was listed on MEXC in March 2023. So if I click on the monthly to look at the levels, so we go out here, we can see first of all, go up here, Alt H, make the green line and type in all-time high, and similarly at the bottom on that wick, click there, make that red, and that can give us our all-time low. So what levels do we potentially have in here? So if we look, I would say you've got a pretty strong level there, so Alt H. You have a pretty strong level there, a pretty strong level there above that line that should be red, that is now red. You've got a level here for a line that should be now white, and one in the middle. These levels are a little bit closer than I would have liked, but we can go back. That's a rough level, so I will put one there. So if I click on that and type in monthly, 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 and monthly. So we would break down into some larger zones. So what do we have on the chart? So we can see where we've had this marked out on the monthly. If I move that down there, you've got a good level there. You've got a weekly level there. This monthly, I think you've got a really strong monthly level there. However, I think if you were to move this one up to here, you could then move that one to there. So you've got a really sort of tight, solid range there. If I put that there, type in weekly. So then you've also got a weekly level there. So and a weekly level there, and I think this one's important because you can see that this is where we had that impulse right up to send it season, so that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. And you've got a weekly level there, and to click, there we are. If we zoom in a little bit further, so what have you got here to look at? So I would potentially look at moving that monthly level up to encapsulate that. We come all the way across here. Actually, if I move that one down to cover that, then this monthly level over here we can move up. And this level I would move up slightly. So these are all a little bit close, but we can see we've had a really strong period of accumulation here. Some accumulation, expansion, distribution, and then you've had this really good period of accumulation here. So if we break this down onto a lower time frame, so on the daily, where do we sit? So you can see we're back below where we had that range there, and we've been trading in this range, just dropped below the monthly. If I was trading this, I'd be a little bit wary of this gap here. I think if you were looking at this and you came down and you tested and held this monthly level, I think you could potentially look at a move to here, a move to here, and then all the way back up. So if we look at certainly this piece of recent price action, if we look at where does the volume sit, so I would click on fixed range volume profile, I would go out like that. So you can see there's an interesting area of volume there. So if I make that purple, where we are now has quite an interesting volume patch, especially up to there as well. That's probably more of a box play. Here you've got a volume node, and then you're looking at sort of this area up here, and then not a huge amount after that. So I put that there. So this one's probably better to box out. So if I was to get this, box this out, make this box grey, so you can see you push down through that box. You'd potentially at this point be looking for a retest of this monthly level. If it didn't hold, you'd want to see if there's a reaction here at this 0.185, if not 0.16. In terms of where this can go, I think you've had this really strong period of accumulation. So if you were to break certainly into this weekly level here, I think you could see quite a strong acceleration up through these levels, and then once you get above this weekly level, there's pretty much this open air between that and the all-time high.